So I think that was the turning point. 2 weeks later, on my birthday, I said, fuck it, this is the moment. And I'm starting this year on my birthday with a coach and a trainer that's going to help me not just hit my fitness goals, but just be healthy in general. Because that's what I was really looking for. The six pack, the body fat percentage, the PRs, and all of the mental health. I think that to me was just a bonus. Like, I don't want anybody else to be in that situation that I was in. And that's not a good feeling.
Sounds like you had two real big realizations in the hospital moment that health is true wealth, and if you're not tracking, you're slacking.
I don't know if you could have put it any better. Health is wealth, because how are you gonna sustain your income or money if you're bedridden? How are you gonna work? How are you gonna operate? How are you gonna lead your team? How are you gonna help other people that are dependent on you? How are you gonna help yourself if you're bedridden? And two, yeah, exactly. If you're not tracking, you're not even, it's beyond slacking. It's like if you're not tracking, you just don't give a fuck.
Let's get started. Erica, where are you from and what do you do for work?
What's going on, Ben? My name is Eric Gonzalez. I'm from San Diego, California, and I own a technology company. So we do some e-commerce with a subsidiary underneath the tech company, and then we have some SaaS offerings as well. So uh, I don't know if you could have put it any better. Health is wealth, because how are you gonna sustain your income or money if you're bedridden? How are you going to work? How are you going to operate? How are you going to lead your team? How are you going to help other people that are dependent on you? How are you going to help yourself if you're bedridden? And two, yeah, exactly. If you're not tracking, you're not even, it's beyond slacking. It's like if you're not tracking, you just don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about your health, is pretty much what you're saying.
Let's get started. Erica, where are you from and what do you do for work?
What's going on, Ben? My name is Eric Gonzalez. I'm from San Diego, California, and I own a technology company. So we do some e-commerce with a subsidiary underneath the tech company, and then we have some SaaS offerings as well. So uh, venture, all sorts of ventures, and simple words, put it in short words, serial entrepreneur, I think would be the best word.
And how do you even find out about the Blueprint Fitness coaching program?
How did I find out about the Blueprint Fitness program? So I had been following you on Instagram for quite a while. Never sent you a message about the program or anything, but I was aware that you were like posting and posting weekly wins and stuff like that. So I think following on Instagram and eventually reaching out to you at some point, I think is how I found out about what the program was about, how it was different, and yeah.
And like, what would you say like your biggest like mental transformation has been like going through the program?
That's a great question, and I wish I would be able to ask you that question, uh, just because I feel like I'm being extremely biased answering your question, but you know the state of mind I was in when I first started the program. But mental transformation, I mean, number one, I feel like I'm a lot more present. I don't feel as anxious. I have some moments here and there where I do have anxiety, but it's a lot less common. I was dealing with a lot of depression at the time when I first started, and I don't run into any symptoms of depression. And if I do, it's just a day or two at most. But yeah, I feel like my overall state of mind when I first started working with you, it's pretty jacked up. It was pretty bad.
And like, sorry to ask again, but like, where were you like mentally and physically before you started the program?
So mentally, I was not in a good place. In short words, I was at a very low point in time. Physically, I was neglecting my health. I was probably 18, 19% body fat. I was maybe yeah, pretty close to 140 in regards to weight. Now, I'm my check-in was earlier today. I'm at like 127, less than 12% body fat. I'm like 11.7, six-pack abs. So that's on the physical side. Mental side, I mean, I feel a lot more present. I feel a lot more calm. I feel less anxious, less depressed. And I feel like I'm a better person, better son, better leader, better friend. And I am going to say a lot of that is correlated to the fitness training.
I love that. And like, what would you say your biggest physical changes have been since going through the program? Like, energy wise, physicality wise, have you had any like muscle gain?
Muscle gain for sure. So it broke my personal record. I don't know if it was like a week or two ago, but I did. Fuck, I think it was like two. I think it might have been like 265 or something like that on the bench press. 245 on the bench press. So I broke my PR. Uh, Physically, also, I mean, six pack abs, but they're I don't even really need to flex anymore to show my abs. And one did a pretty comprehensive blood work panel testing like over 100 biomarkers. Got the results back. I was really shocked. I was impressed. Uh, was saying my metabolic age is 16 years old. So, I mean, that's fucking insane. Happy to know that I'm gonna be sticking around here for a while. So physically speaking, probably in the best shape of my life.
16, and how old are you?
I'm 28, so 12.6 years younger.
Just by implementing fitness.
Just by implementing fitness, and a lot more goes into that I'm sure we're gonna cover here during this interview. So I'm excited.
And like, what would you say your biggest struggle was, like fitness wise or diet wise, or just in general before joining my program?
Fitness and diet wise, number one, I didn't have a diet period. I knew like okay, eating sugar, eating candy, that's shit food. Don't eat that. But that's as far as I kind of knew. Fitness wise, I was just extremely inconsistent, and I didn't really know what. I didn't really even know what I was doing at the gym, so I was just all over the place. And being an entrepreneur, not having a steady schedule or steady routine, that's kind of how I felt like I was living life at the gym as well. So it was just spontaneous. It was just whenever I had free time, whenever I could, whenever I felt like it was convenient. And my diet was the same. I feel like everything was kind of a reflection of, well, who I was at that moment in time. I had no guidance. I was just kind of, I mean, ChatGPT, I think, was also fairly new. So I was just doing shit on the fly. I wasn't even really sure what I was doing. And hopefully I was able to answer the question there. But I had no diet. I had no routine, and I think joining the program gave me the routine that I needed.
And
So
like, how did your like fitness like level, like your level of fitness, like affect your day to day, your daily life, your work, or your confidence?
let's start with the fitness. Let's start with the exercise, right? So when I first joined the program, I was going to the gym late at night, and sooner than later I realized that's not really working out for me. So now I'm doing that first thing in the morning. And by the time I started getting into the habit of going to the gym first, because that was the hardest thing on my agenda, it started kind of creating a sustainable schedule for me. And it affected me in a positive manner because as opposed to waiting till the next day to create my routine. I mean, I already had my schedule ready to go. I knew what time I needed to go to the gym, what time I needed to take my breaks, what time I needed to eat. And if anyone that's watching this is an entrepreneur and you're on no routine, no schedule, you are just kind of going on the fly, like you can really only do that for so long. So this really just also, aside from the physical benefits, aside from the mental benefits, aside from the mood changes, it also gave me clarity and structure and a sustainable routine to live my day and life. So yeah,
Do you feel like having the workout at the very beginning of the day, like biting the killing the frog, is like make the rest of your day feel a lot easier?
Oh yeah, because it just like it's like a checklist, right? I still do certain things by hand, and it's like I have 8 things I need to get done before I even get to work. I know that you're always posting like you got your regimen, you got the Bible study, and you got your own little regimen that you're posting every day on Instagram. I got my own, and I feel like knocking out the gym. Yeah, to me it is kind of like the hardest thing, but because I got the hardest thing out the way, it kind of sets the tone for the rest of my day. So when I'm working, it's like okay, well this shit's just easy work now.
And like before joining my program, had you done like any sort of like workout program or diets in the past?
Yeah, I think I probably did the worst one possible. I did hard 75. I failed 9 times, and after failing 9 times, for context to the audience or anybody that is gonna watch this, I'm a person that just likes to take on challenges and do hard shit. And failing that hard 75 over and over again, it was hard for me to accept. And I said, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna try it again. I went ahead and did it the 10th time. 10th time I completed it successfully. I didn't break any of the rules. I complied, but it kind of fucked me up. It kind of destroyed my entire regimen. It destroyed my life routine that I had. I was in good shape physically, but mentally I was all over the place and it wasn't sustainable. Yeah, I had a diet, but it was put together by myself, and it was attempting to track my macros, but I wasn't adjusting them. No one was overlooking them. And I only think it looked like I was so fit, but I mean, you're exercising 2 days for 75 days without break. I mean, you're bound to end up jacked and ripped. You're supposed to, but that's not the point of it, and it's not sustainable. And it honestly, I think it did more damage than it did good. More than anything, I think I got set back mentally because of. I mean, you're just putting your body through so much for 75 days without breaks. Um, so I wouldn't say I had any injuries, but I would say it set me back more than it did any good, and I don't encourage or recommend it to anybody.
And can you think of like a specific moment where you realize, man, I need a coach or some sort of direction?
Oh man, I love that you asked the question because I know the exact moment. I know where I was at. I have a rough estimate of the date. Yeah, this is about to get real deep, real quick, and I think this is the part of the interview that I've been waiting for. So it's December 24th, 2023. In the emergency room at Kaiser. Um, so, again, to the audience and anybody that's watching this, that's the Mexican Christmas. That's our Christmas day. We don't celebrate it on the 25th. So I'm there, and I'm getting crazy nosebleeds. I'm suffering from migraines and headaches and all sorts of stuff. And I'm waiting in the emergency room lobby for hours, and I finally get admitted to the back. I'm having this conversation with the doctor, and this is where it kind of all started. So he just kind of looks at me, he looks at my age, and he's like, "What are you doing here, right?" I'm like, "Well, it's pretty apparent. Like I have nosebleeds if you can't kind of see the blood all over me." Um, he was like, "Yeah, but like, what are you doing here?" 20, I think I was 25 or something at the time, 25, 26. Point is, what? I was like, I'm here because there's a huge problem and the blood doesn't stop and it's been going on for a while. And this nosebleed in particular has just almost filled up it was like a trash can that was like this big. I mean, it was pretty crazy. It was bad. And he's like, bro, people are out there that are dying, like, and you're seriously in here for a nosebleed. I said, well, it's not just any nosebleed. Like, look at what I'm telling you. He's like, bro, your age, like, there's people dying outside, and there really was like there was some people in some critical condition. He's like, man, like, why are you really here? And I said, well, because this is a concern of mine. That's a lot of blood, and I'm also getting headaches, and I'm scared for my health. Like, what do you mean? He's like, all right, well, we're gonna triage this, and I'm gonna let you ask me every single question that you possibly have on in your mind, so we can get this over with because you really shouldn't even be here. I have serious work to do with those patients outside. I said, all right. So I'm asking him, what's the cause of the nosebleed? What is, because I mean, that's a whole ton. I mean, that's a lot of blood, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that was concerning. A little nosebleed here and there. I mean, all right, fuck it. But this was going on for an hour, man. Like, I'm talking about, I couldn't even sit still because it's just gushing out like a faucet. And I'm telling him all of this stuff, and he was like, "All right, well, we're gonna triage it. We're gonna just do it right here, right now." So I asked him all the fucking questions that I had on my mind, and he said, "You're a very critical thinker, and I like the types of questions you're asking. So in order for me to properly diagnose your symptoms and to give you an accurate diagnosis as to what's causing it, I'm gonna ask you some questions. And if you're unable to answer these questions, then I'm not going to be able to give you the answer that you're looking for." And I said, all right, fine, let's do it. And this is where it started. He says, in the last 72 hours, can you tell me what you've drank, how often you've drank, whatever you've drank, whether it's water, soda, Kool-Aid? Can you measure it? Have you measured it? How many ounces, gallons? I said, no. He was like, okay, well, we're off to a bad start. Second, it seems like you have the flu to me. I'm gonna assume you've been taking medications in the last 72 hours. Can you tell me what you've put into your body in regards to medications? So if you've been taking Tylenol, ibuprofen in the past 72 hours, how much of it and how often have you been taking it? Or can you answer the question? I said, shit, no, I can't. It's like, okay, we're 0 for 2. Now, the most important one, or no, there was two more questions, sorry. Said, sleep. In the last 72 hours, can you tell me how much you've been sleeping? I said no. Now I'm 0 for 3, and he hits me with the last question that I think kind of just put everything into perspective. In the last 72 hours, can you tell me how much you've been eating and what you've been eating? Because I need to be able to, I need to know these things in order to give you the accurate diagnosis that you're looking for. And I said, no, I don't have any answers to the questions you just asked me. And he said, okay, so my job here is done. You wanted a very accurate diagnosis. I'm going to have to give you a general one because to me, it looks like you just have the flu and you've been taking blood thinners and it's cold outside and it's humid and this and that, and that's normal. And you taking blood thinners is probably causing you to have nosebleeds rushing out like a faucet. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna go outside and start getting to work on the real patients that are actually dying because you shouldn't even be here right now. You should be enjoying Christmas. So he gives me the paperwork, sends me home, and I think that was a reality check to me. I was like, oh shit, like I need to take my health serious because at that time I was already an entrepreneur. At that time I was already making millions, but it really hit me then and there, like if I'm not tracking these very important things that the doctor's asking me, then what's the point of work? What is the point of working? What is the point of having money? What is the point of any of it if I'm not even healthy, if I can't even give the doctor accurate answers? And I think I've told you this story before, but then and there I knew I don't want to ever come back to the emergency room and not be able to answer those critical questions. And if I am back, I'm gonna be like, look, here it is. This is exactly how much I've been sleeping, how much I've been drinking, what I've been drinking, what I've been eating. Now go do your actual fucking work and give me a real diagnosis. So I think that was the turning point. 2 weeks later, on my birthday, I said, fuck it, this is the moment. and I'm starting this year on my birthday with the coach and a trainer that's going to help me not just hit my fitness goals, but just be healthy in general. Because that's what I was really looking for: the six pack, the body fat percentage, the PRs, and all of the mental health. I think that to me was just a bonus. But I know I went on a little bit longer. I just wanted to make sure that this entire thing was caught on camera on the interview, because that's deep, man. And I think this needs to be communicated. Like, I don't want anybody else to be in that situation that I was in, and that's not a good feeling.